Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavitvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll chant 5 shlokas, 6 shlokas from chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, verse 25 to 30.
दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं योगिनः पर्युपासते ब्रह्माज्ञावपरे यज्ञं यज्ञो नैवोपजुह्वति श्रोत्रादीनीन्द्रियाण्यन्ये संयमाग्निषु जुह्वति शब्दादीन् विषयानन्ये इन्द्रियाग्निषु जुह्वति सर्वाणीन्द्रियकर्माणि प्राणकर्माणि चापरे आत्मसंयमयोगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते द्रव्ययज्ञास्तपो यज्ञाः योगयज्ञास्तथा परे स्वाध्यायज्ञानयज्ञाश्च यतयः संशितव्रताः अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे पानं तथा परे प्राणापानगतिरुद्ध्वा प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे नियताहाराः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति सर्वेऽप्येते यज्ञविदः यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः.
Hari Om everyone. For the people who are attending online, we are trying out something new for the first time in a different place. There are people who are attending in person also. This is happening in Gurgaon. So, I don't know whether I'll be able to see the screen all the time and talk. So, you may wonder why I'm not seeing the screen all the time and talking. So, I'm informing this. And also, these people who are coming, except I think 2 people whom I know, rest are attending at least this class for the first time, my classes for the first time. So, this is the portion we are in Bhagavad Gita now, in chapter 4 of the Gita, verse 25 to 30. This portion covers the topic called as 12 yajnas. Yajna means worship. Worship, specifically sacrificial worship. Yajna means action that is done in the spirit of service and sacrifice. Rising above the individual ego and doing your action. In fact, that is what is called as worship. In fact, in Christianity also, they go to church every Sunday and they call it as Sunday service. Going to church is called as service, So when you rise above your individual ego, identify with a larger purpose and deliver your actions, it's called yajna. So that's the portion we are in. This class has been going on for maybe 2-3 years now. Originally, I used to do this class in Bhavika's house in Magnolia. Then Corona came, and we started shifting to online. Then Bhavika also shifted to Dubai. So this class then ended up being uh, online continuously. Yes, yes. Shalini, I know. Yeah. I've done 1 or 2 classes in her house also. So that's how we've been continuously doing this chapter from the beginning of the Gita. Now, Gita, a lot of people don't understand whether it is Bhagavad Gita or Vedanta. What exactly is it dealing with? You know, some people even misunderstand it as matam. Matam means, strictly speaking, in Sanskrit, the meaning is opinion. So in English, they translate it as religion. Even the word religion, when you go deeply, the etymological meaning of the word religion, which means religare, uniting back with the origin. The river is originally from the ocean. Water is evaporated from the ocean, has come down as rain, flowing as river, and it's flowing towards the ocean to merge with the ocean. Similarly, each and every individual is a spark that has come out from that total conflagration called the pure consciousness. Right? And that pure consciousness essentially is called technically as Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means existence, Chit means consciousness, Ananda means bliss. I'm not going into details of all this. I'm just taking the word bliss, Ananda. Now, every one of us, from the time we wake up in the morning till the time we go to bed, whatever we do is to find happiness, isn't it? Whether we do or we avoid doing. Technically, it's called as pravritti and nivritti in Sanskrit. Pravritti means activity. Nivritti means inactivity, withdrawal. So, whether we do something or not do something, it is for happiness. Now, Anjuji invited all of you. You said, okay, I'll come. Obviously, because you thought this will add to your happiness, this session. If you thought, this may take away my happiness, or I'll have to compromise on my happiness a little bit, you would have thought twice, So you said, no, I will not come. So, by doing or avoiding doing, all we are looking for is only happiness. So, universally, everybody is searching for only one goal. Everybody has only one goal, that is called happiness or ananda or bliss. So, all the scriptures, whether it is Vedas or Bhagavad Gita, all are essentially pointing us towards that happiness. And it says, you have tried in the world outside, in the material objects, in the physical comforts, emotional relationships, and intellectual delights. And you do experience happiness, but that happiness that you experience is transient, not permanent. It is transient, passing, fleeting. It is broken bliss. It is not uninterrupted bliss. It is interrupted bliss. You go through bliss for a while, then again you go into sorrow, then again you run after something which you believe will give you happiness, and this chase for happiness is going on. So to explain this, the masters give one simple example. say a person trying to catch his head. So he's trying to catch the head of the shadow, and he is never able to. Instead, if he touches his head, he will see that in the shadow also the head is touched. So what Vedanta is saying is, the bliss, the happiness that you are running after, searching, trying to find, is your original nature. You are that. And you do not know that. And you think it is outside in the material objects, physical body, mind, intellect, etc. And you try, you're getting a little bit, again you miss it, you run. Throughout the life, you're only chasing happiness. You don't ever think that you have arrived, that you have found. So all your actions are to find happiness, not out of happiness. How to move from this position of doing actions to find happiness to doing actions out of happiness? Whether I do anything or not do anything, it should be out of happiness, out of joy. To be in that state of uninterrupted bliss. How to achieve that? That is what Vedanta is. That is what Gita is. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand it that way. So they think it is religion, or they think it is a text that talks about running away from the world, giving up the world. Sorry. This is because the emphasis in the scriptures is on that one word called renunciation. This is the problem, which is in Sanskrit called as sannyas or tyag. Oh my God, did I come to a wrong class? You understand? Sannyas. Everybody gets terrified of this word sannyas. Yet, in the very first class, I am boldly mentioning this. The crux of spirituality, the crux of life is sannyas. Our Guru, Swami Parthasarathi, has written a book called Vedanta Treatise, The Eternities. He took about 20 years to write that book, and he says nothing in that book is mine. It's a composition of many Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Swami Ramtita's works, Western philosophers' works, all that put together. He says approximately maybe 40 books. What he's done is, the entire philosophy is written following the fundamental principle of education, which is to move from the known to the unknown. The bliss within is unknown to us now. If this is what is going to be explored, it has to be explored starting from the known. To get it? This is what he's done in that book. He's written that in 3 parts. In that book, he talks about renunciation in a particular chapter in part B, second part. He says, when he discusses renunciation in detail in one particular chapter, renunciation is the secret of success. Renunciation is joy. Renunciation is the secret of success. Now, to be successful, you The simple thing is what? Success is something that belongs to future. Today's action, when done well, becomes success in future. Today's action, not done well, will be failure in future. Success belongs to future. So the key to success is what? Present action. Correct? So in the present action, when I'm doing with my body, if my mind is not in the present, if it goes into the past worries or future anxiety, will I be able to do the action correctly? Or excited in the present? Oh, I'm going to give a talk to quite a lot of people who are new. So I hope I'm able to convince them about Gita. Supposing I'm excited, my mind won't be stable here. I won't be able to deliver what I wanted to deliver. Correct? So, when I'm able to apply my mind and body in the present 100%, renouncing the worries of the past, anxiety of the future, and excitement in the present, only then I can be successful. Yes or no? Therefore, Swamiji says, renunciation is the secret of success. Number one. Number two, joy. I said renunciation is joy. Now, if you're hungry and I just have only bananas at home, so I give you one banana, say, please eat the banana. Would you eat it with the peel? What will you do? You will remove the peel, you will renounce the peel and enjoy the banana. Correct or not? Unless you renounce the peel, will you enjoy the banana? Unless you renounce the shell, will you enjoy the peanuts? Will you? You can't eat the peanuts with the shell. You won't enjoy it. So, this is what Vedanta is saying. What is happening is, the cravings with which you contact, take the gross example of having a chocolate. You like a chocolate so much. It's a Godiva, you love it. So you are having Godiva. It's coming wrapped, right? In the excitement, will you eat it with the wrap? Will you enjoy? So, however excited you are to enjoy it, you'll remove the wrap and eat it. Now, even when you're eating, you're like, my God, I really love it. It's a long time since I had it and I've got it now. So, with this excitement of your mind, I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy is the thoughts that is running in your mind. Craving. And not just one, I want to have 2, 3. This is what is happening in your mind. So with that, when you eat, is the mind totally in the present when you're contacting it? I should finish this and take the second one before the others can take it. So I'm not fully registering it. Are you getting it? I'm not fully registering it and enjoying it. So the real enjoyment is when I'm in the present absolutely. Isn't it? So I have to renounce. The mind's nature is to meander, is to wander. It goes to the past, it goes to the future. It will never stay in the present. So when you learn how to bring your mind to the present, to the extent you are able to be in the present, you are actually living. Otherwise, you are mechanically existing. We are all concerned about living 100 years. Right? May you live 100 years. That's how we bless others. Obviously, 100 years nice life, not on coma stage. Now, if you live 100 years also, 1/3 of 100 years you are sleeping. Every day 8 hours you are sleeping. So 1/3 gone, 33 gone. So balance is 66 approximately. Now, in that also about 8 hours, 10 hours running to make a living gone. So another 33 gone. Balance 33 in that getting ready for this and that, trying to satisfy the others' opinion, all that, lot of time gone. So when you really calculate, hardly we are living. Whereas people who have achieved this state that we are discussing, like for example, Swami Ramatirtha, he lived only 32 years. But the 32 years he lived totally. Or at least most of it he lived totally after he got liberation. Isn't it? So the point is, only when you find your true nature, the happiness within, you begin to live. And the technical terms used frightens people, especially Sanskrit, because it's not properly explained. And the word is moksha. I don't want moksha and all. You understand? Moksha simply means what? Liberated from the bondage. What that bondage is? Mind. I am bound by my mind, which is not allowing me to be in the present. Isn't it? When I become free from the mind, then I can live. What is he thinking? What is she thinking? What will they think about me? All the time, we are bound by something or the other in the mind. We are all living in the head. We are not really living. So when they say moksha, 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 this is what it means. So Gita, Upanishads teach how to live. That's all it is. In the Kena Upanishad, there's a mantra. It says, Iha cheda veti datta satyamasti, na chediha veti mahati vinashti. If you have known Vedas, understood Vedas, and lived according to the Vedas, which means you have found the happiness within and you're doing actions out of happiness, that means you lived your life totally. Otherwise, it's a loss. Nashti means loss. Vinashti means great loss. Mahati Vinashti means supreme, most great loss. You are thinking you are living, but you never lived totally. It's a loss. This is what Gita is teaching. So in the first chapter of the Gita, called Arjuna Vishada Yoga, you know the background of Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata war. So they have assembled their Kauravas and the Pandavas. Kauravas, the negative forces, Pandavas, the good forces. There's a battle between them to establish Dharma. Sri Krishna was on the side of Pandavas, on the dharmic side. Now, Arjuna suddenly becomes emotional after seeing his great grandfather, Guru, his friends and relatives on both sides. He says, my God, I have to kill so many people, I can't do this. He gets terrified, meaning he allows his emotions to overpower him and he says, I can't fight. Okay. What happens is, as a human being, we should have emotions. If we don't have emotions, we'll become a piece of wood. But if we have emotions and we are controlled by emotions, then we become animals. If we have emotions and we keep our emotions under our control, then we are human beings. Arjuna, what happened? He had emotions, but he got succumbed to his emotions. Emotions overpowered him. He couldn't act. He kept quiet and said, I will not act. This is the first chapter. called Arjuna Vishada Yoga, which means what? The state of Arjuna's despondency. Then second chapter is called Jnana Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga means Jnana Yoga, knowledge, yoga of knowledge. The second chapter and the 18th chapter are the biggest chapters in the Gita. Second chapter has 72, 18th chapter has 78 shlokas. Totally in the Gita there are 700 shlokas. Out of 700, these two chapters itself 150. Understand? Out of 18. Why? Because the real Gita starts in the second chapter. First chapter only Arjuna talking mostly. So the real Gita, when Sri Krishna starts talking, then only the Gita begins. Technically the Gita begins from verse 11 of chapter 2. Okay. So now what happens is, in the Gita, the method of communication that is followed is like news. When the news is presented, what do? First they read out the headlines. Then elaborate news. Then again, what? Summary. This is exactly what he is doing. The entire news, the message of the Gita given in second chapter. Headlines. Then elaboration from 3rd to 17th chapter. Then 18th chapter summary. That's why second chapter and 18th chapter, bigger chapters, longer chapters. You get it? So in the second chapter, Sri Krishna gives the knowledge. After Arjuna becomes the disciple, student. After Arjuna becomes the student, initially in the first 6 shlokas, Arjuna still not become student in the second chapter. 7th shloka surrenders, and 11th shloka onwards, Sri Krishna gives Gita. So in the second chapter, Sri Krishna gives the knowledge about each one of us. See, what the Gita does is, it simply analyzes life. That's it. What is life? Life is nothing but series of experiences. In Sanskrit, it's called as Anubhava Dhara. Dhara means stream. Anubhava Dhara means stream of experiences. From the time we are born till the time we die, we go through experience after experience after experience. Isn't it? The experience ceases, life ceases. Okay? That means one unit of life is one experience. Then what is an experience constituted of? The subject you and the object world. When you contact the world, there is experience. When you contact the world, there is experience. Now, if you want to make your life beautiful, enjoyable, you have to make your experience beautiful, enjoyable. If you want to make your experience enjoyable, what are the 2 main ingredients of experience? You, the individual, and the world. Both needs to be improved. But what is happening in the world today is, world is improved brilliantly, evolved day by day. See, even what do you call? You can say economically backward class people who are using the public transport are, in some aspects, if you see, leading a better life than the emperors of the past. Okay? Because the emperors of the past had to go on the horseback. And they didn't have this kind of roads. These people are traveling in public transport and on excellent roads. Are they not living a better life? When you start looking at it like that. So when you compare, the world is constantly being improved. In spite of it, what is the state of mind? Going through a lot of stress, strain, isn't it? All that. So therefore, what Vedanta says is, the blunder is you focus mostly on developing the world. You should also focus on developing the individual. Okay. So the you, the subject, the individual should also be improved, understood and improved. And the world also should be understood and improved. When both are understood and improved, then the life will be much better. So in the Gita, what he does is, first 6 chapters of the Gita, the analysis is upon the individual you. The middle 6 chapters of the Gita, the analysis is of the world. The last 6 chapters of the Gita emphasizes on the oneness between the two when you look at it from the essence. Superficially, there are differences, but when you look at it from the essence, there is oneness. So once you gain this knowledge, then you will not thereafter live in your mind. You will be using your mind and living, not allowing the mind to use you. That's called moksha from a practical point of view. Okay? This is the entire Gita. So in the second chapter, he gives the knowledge. Then Arjuna gets a doubt in the third chapter, which is called Karma Yoga, the yoga of action, where the complete science of action is elaborately discussed. Why you should act? Why you should act? First of all. Then how you should act. Then what are the impediments that will come while doing the action? How to overcome those impediments. Elaborately in the third chapter, it is discussed. It's called Yoga of Action, Karma Yoga. Arjuna asks a question. You are praising knowledge, but you are forcing me to do this terrible action of waging the war. Should I act or should I gain the knowledge? This is the question he asks in the third chapter. Remember, Bhagavad Gita is given as conversation, dialogue between the disciple Arjuna and the Guru Sri Krishna. It's a samvada. It's a discussion. It's not one-way lecture. You understand? So now, in the third chapter, when this question is asked, Sri Krishna explains the value of action, why you should why you should act. He explains that. All this what I said. Then, in the fourth chapter that we are in now, I'm bringing the thought flow to the present context, otherwise you will be nowhere. You understand? So those of you who've been attending the sessions regularly, for you also it will be helpful. So, in the fourth chapter, it is called as Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. First chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the yoga of Arjuna's state of despondency. Second chapter, Sankhya Yoga, yoga of knowledge. Third chapter, Karma Yoga, yoga of action. Fourth chapter is called Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. What does it mean in English? The yoga of Karma Sannyasa Yoga means what? Yoga, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Yoga of renunciation of action through knowledge. Remember this. The yoga of renunciation of action through knowledge. Knowledge what? Not what knowledge? Knowledge of your true self. So we say in Vedanta, renunciation of anything is not possible by itself. A child cannot renounce the toy world. Child will be attached to the toy world. Period. If you expose the child to the cycle world, you understand? Slowly, you are teaching the child to sit on the cycle and pedal, you're supporting. Slowly, the child learns to balance. Then what happens slowly when the child has learned how to cycle? The toy world gives up the child. Child is not giving up the toy world, isn't it? When the flower matures into a fruit, the petals of the flower automatically fall away. Do you get it? When you forcefully pluck the petals, will it mature into a fruit? It is flower. You forcefully remove the petals. Will it mature into a fruit? But when the flower matures into a fruit, what happens to the petals? They wither away. They fall away. So we say in Vedanta, only when you gain the knowledge of the higher will you renounce the lower. Only when you gain the knowledge of the higher will you renounce the lower. Now if you ask, sir, how do I know that I have gained the knowledge, now I can renounce? So to explain this, one very interesting story one guru used to say. A lady was in the 9th month of pregnancy and she was admitted in the hospital to deliver. She asked the doctor, Doctor, when will I know? Will I know when I get the labor pain to call you? For which the doctor said, don't worry. The whole hospital will know when you get the labor pain. Not just you. The whole hospital will know, so I also know. The sense, you don't have to know whether you've reached there to give up. Once you've woken up, do I have to come and tell you that you woken up? You know that you've woken up. Isn't it? So, if you keep on focusing on gaining the knowledge of the higher, the true self which is beyond the mind, then you become, as you begin to establish yourself in the knowledge of the self, you become free to that extent from the clutches of your own mind. This is called becoming free from samsara. All these words we have heard, we got frightened, scared. Samsara, I want to live life. What do you mean by becoming free from? Meaning, you become free from the clutches of your mind. For example, I say, food can be on the plate or in your pet, in the word pet, or in the refrigerator. It should not be in your mind. Correct or not? All the time, 24/7, food. That means you are a glutton. Isn't it? You are hungry, food is there, you eat well, fine. And you forget it. Are you with me? But now what's happening? When you are at home, your mind is preoccupied with your office. When you are in the office, your mind is preoccupied with your home. Like this, every now and then, when we look at each and every experience, our mind is not free. It's constantly preoccupied. So, Vedanta is not against occupation. It is only talking to us about preoccupation and asking us to become free from preoccupation. People got scared. Vedanta will take us away from our occupation. Therefore, they said, after I am retired, I'll come for Vedanta class. Vedanta never said free from occupation. Vedanta said free yourself from preoccupations. Do you get it? So once we gain this knowledge, and with the knowledge when we do the action, we don't create the impressions which bind us. I'm going little technical because this is little important. See, what is happening is, now I don't know if some of you here may be a good painter. In fact, in my other class, there are 2-3 classes where excellent painters are there. They have their own galleries. They, whenever they present, they invited me also. Excellent painters. Now, I don't know till they tell me that they are painters. Isn't it? They have that inherent nature in them. Tendulkar has the inherent nature of sports, especially cricket. That is what is called as Vasanas, which comes from the root vas, means fragrance. So each one of us sitting here are nothing but bundle of vasanas, impressions, which are unmanifest. When it manifests as thought. So in the painter, the painting vasanas manifest as thought of painting. Correct? Then when the thought continuously flows, it becomes desire to paint. Okay? And when it comes to desire to paint, then she will procure all the necessary things for painting, and then she will do the action of painting. So how did the action come? Action come from desire. Desire come from thought. Thought comes from vasanas. Okay? Up to this is okay. Now what's happening? Now we are having this talk in this club. I'm seeing this place. Oh, this kind of interior is very nice. I should also have this kind of interior made in my classroom as a background. I'm thinking about it, going on thinking about it unconsciously, unintelligently, constantly. What will happen? It will become a vasana in me. Correct? Impression in me. Then I'll say, I'll contact these people. Hey, who did this? Where you got this? You saw a painting. I want to also have the same painting. Where can I get it? Do you understand? I am creating vasanas. Are you with me? So what Vedanta says is vasana, thought, desire, action, and action also produces vasanas, impression. This is called the cycle. This is what they say. Again birth, again death. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. You listen to all these things, you get scared. But technically what they're saying is, you're running, doing action, but you've created more vasanas. So in other words, you wanted something, you did that, you got the result. But you are not satisfied. Why? Because you created more vasanas. Are you with me? So in other words, you are today working to fulfill your desires. Let's say you fulfilled 10 desires. But simultaneously what you did? You created 1,000 new desires. So Vedanta gives a very interesting formula for happiness. What is that formula? The ratio between the number of desires fulfilled to the number of desires entertained. Okay? Numerator is number of desires fulfilled. Denominator is number of desires entertained. Is that clear? So now what's happening? When you don't understand this, how it's happening, you're fulfilling 10 desires by vasana, thought, desire, action. Okay? But since you're not doing it with knowledge, with awareness, with control, you also created 1,000 desires. So what is the formula now? 10 by 1,000. Well, what will happen? 1 by 100. Very small fraction of happiness you got. Now supposing you gain the knowledge, how all this works, then you are fulfilling your 10 desires, but you are not creating 1,000 desires. Maybe 10, or not even 10, 0. Supposing you fulfill 10 desires and only created 10 desires, then your happiness is increased or decreased? 10 by 10 is 1. It's now become a whole number, not a fraction. Okay. Now, if you make your denominator 0, 10 by 0 what? Infinite. Anything divided by 0 is infinite. So what happens? You are also fulfilling your desires and you are not entertaining any new desires. You are in infinite happiness. That's all Vedanta is saying. So what Vedanta is saying is, with the knowledge you do the action, then it won't create impressions. Like you have a seed of any plant. You throw the seed on the ground, in the conducive time, little water and all that comes, it will start sprouting. Yes or no? But if the same seed, if you roast it in a kadai, in a vessel, in fire, then after roasting it well, you throw it on the ground, will it germinate? So when the seed that is roasted in the fire will not germinate, similarly, the desires in you roasted in the fire of knowledge will not create impressions. This is what is called as Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Okay, so that Jnanam he gives, especially the 18th shloka of this chapter. That's a little more technical thing. There he talks about our true Atma, a much more technical thing. I'm not going into it detail. Once you understand that, once you have identified with your true nature, you've exhausted all the vasanas. Thereafter, you are living, like I said, not to find happiness, out of happiness. Now, once you have decided, once you have reached that state out of happiness, how does it matter what lifestyle you follow? Out of happiness, you can be on the streets. Out of happiness, you can be in big bungalow. Out of happiness, you can be on the throne as a king. Out of happiness, you can be a sannyasi in an ashram. Yes or no? Janaka, out of happiness, continued to be the king. Siddhartha, out of happiness, remained as a wandering monk. Janaka was a king. He gained the knowledge, but he chose to be the king. Out of happiness, he chose to be the king. Siddhartha attained enlightenment, became Buddha. He chose to be a wandering monk out of happiness. Whatever may be the lifestyle, both are liberated. Okay, this he discussed. Then he comes to this topic now, which I've come now. It took me so much to give you this elaboration so that you'll know where we are now. So now from verse 25 to 30, he now says how to convert every action of yours into worship. Because I told you, with the knowledge, when you do it as a yajna, then it won't germinate into vasanas. This is the meaning. So yajna means what? Your mind has to be elevated to the higher through the knowledge. Fixing a greater ideal, not thinking about you, what I will get. You understand? So you are thinking in terms of what I can do, how I can serve. Now I'm invited here to give this class. If I think what I will get, it will not be yajna, even though the topic is Bhagavad Gita. If I think what I will get, it's not yajna. If I think how I can present this so that everybody can benefit, then it becomes yajna. You understand? Yajna simply means action done in the spirit of service and sacrifice. So now, we go through 3 transactions of life from the time we wake up in the morning till the time we go to bed, called receipt, reaction, and response. It's also called as 3R transactions of life or 3R traffic of life. Receipt of stimuli from the external world, reaction from within, and response back to the world, like a manufacturing industry. In a manufacturing industry, the raw material comes from the world outside, and the raw material is processed in the factory, and the finished product is marketed back in the world. Correct or not? Raw material comes from the world, processed in the factory, finished product again marketed in the world. Like that, stimuli comes from the world outside. Color and form for the eyes, smell for the nose, taste for the tongue, touch for the skin, sound for the ears. These stimuli are coming from the world outside. They are reacting with my mind. Then I am responding back to the world as my action. So now I have to use this knowledge and convert my receipts into worship, reactions into worship, responses into worship. So we say prayer is not a part-time, pastime hobby. It is a full-time awareness of truth. It's like you hoist the flag in the morning, you salute the national flag, and then whole day anti-national activity you're doing. Is there any meaning in that? So, national flag is only an idol through which you are identifying with the entire nation, and then you come out with that spirit throughout the day. You dedicate your actions, everything for the nation. Similarly, you go into a prayer room, the idol only represents the ideal, the supreme self. Okay. You draw the inspiration, gratitude, you come out, and with that gratitude you do your actions. Whatever it is, you are good in singing, sing. You are good in sports, do that. You're good in this, that, whatever, dance, do that. Through that you serve the world. And whatever comes out of it, you live your life. This is called yajna living. We say you sacrifice arpana and you get prasad. Arpana bhav, prasada buddhi. You do your actions with arpana bhav, and whatever comes you accept as prasada. Then what happens? You are never in the mundane things. What will I get? Will I get this? Will I get? Will I get? You're not thinking. So since you are not thinking, you're not going to create impressions. And you are doing the action totally free from the clutches of the mind. So you will also fulfill the action and get the result. So you get both success, and at the same time you're not creating impressions and getting caught in the cycle. So you are evolving materially, you're also evolving spiritually. Is this clear? So in this topic, he discusses 12 yajnas. How to convert every action into worship. So we have so far seen 5 yajnas out of the 12. What are the 5 yajnas that we have seen? I'll first name it and then explain. Deva yajna, Brahma yajna, Vishaya grahana yajna, Dama yajna, Shama yajna. Don't get scared. I'll explain that in English also. Deva yajna, Brahma yajna. In a relative way, how you have to understand this. Deva yajna means sacrifice for a limited goal. Brahma yajna means sacrifice for the absolute goal. What is the absolute goal? Self-enlightenment, self-realization, finding my true nature, which is absolute happiness. But that's a very far-fetched goal, right? Where my mind has to be 100% in the present. So far-fetched goal. So now what do I have to do? I have to, according to my level, bring the goal to a limited area, right? So I say my goal is not, absolute goal is self-realization, but my immediate goal is self-development. Okay, so I pitch up a goal and say, for the family. Instead of just working for myself, I'll work for the family. So family means minimum 4 to 6 people are there, in which my ego is dissolved. Right? Whatever I'm doing, initially I do only for me. Then I say, no, family. I have my wife, husband, children, parents, in-laws, minimum 6, 8, 10 people, minimum. So to that extent, my ego is dissolved, right? Then I'm doing the action. So once I'm established at that level, we say, escalate the goal from the family to maybe community. Okay, larger circle. Once you are established there, from community to nation. Once you are established at the nation, then you say humanity. Once you come there, then you say the entire universe. Not just to human beings, even to other species. Whatever you do. So what is happening? You start living more and more consciously. Isn't it? Even if you have to go for a meeting to some other city, you will think twice, is it necessary? Because then I'll have to take a flight. so much of carbon footprint. If there is a possibility of using technology and no need to fly, you understand? Cost cutting, so many things I can do with that, and also not destroy the environment. You start becoming more and more conscious living. You understand? So initially you do limited goal ke liye, then you escalate yourself to absolute goal. So these two yajnas talk about goal of limited goal and goal of absolute goal. Sorry, yoga of limited goal, yajna of limited goal, yajna of absolute goal. Now, to achieve this, if you want to bring the mind to absolute present, you need knowledge. Now, even to 1 hour to concentrate in this class, we need some amount of control over our mind. Switch off the phone, put it in silent mode, isn't it? And then not worry about other things, focus as much as possible. So, if you want to gain the knowledge which only will make the mind be absolutely in the present, which is liberation, then I need to at least have some other practices which will to some extent keep my mind calm. So the third one is Vishaya Grahana Yajna. Vishaya means sense objects, which comes from the world outside. So I have to decide, before coming to camellias or any group house living or even individual houses, there are securities. So Anjuji sent me that pass. I have to show it there. Then I have come here, you show it here. Then they bring you here. Because you have to decide whom to send, whom not to send. You send anybody and everybody, then you have to deal with him. Why? Supposing you allowed a terrorist, after that dealing becomes a big headache, isn't it? So, if in the factory, the finished product has to be of the first quality, the raw material should also be first quality. So, Vishaya Grahana Yajna means what? What Vishaya I can allow and enjoy, which will help me to control my mind. When I do this consciously, it's called Vishaya Grahana Yajna. Then, what Vishaya I should not contact, that is called Dhamma Yajna. Sense control. I should withdraw my senses from those contacts which will not allow my mind to be calm. Then comes mind control. Now, I have not allowed unnecessary sense objects to get into my personality. But already there are a lot of thoughts within me. Isn't it? See, in this glass now there is water. Let's assume that it's full. It's clean, clear, transparent. But if there is some sand at the bottom, still it will look transparent. If I put a spoon and stir it, then what will happen? The mud will come out. Isn't it? Make it dirty. Like that, today I may not allow the unnecessary things into my system, but what I have allowed already is there. When is when is Salman Khan going to get married? Will he ever get married? Unnecessary things are there in my head. You understand? I am disturbed. So now I have to do mind control. That's called Shama Yajna. Okay. So, receipt, how to convert that into worship, we have already seen. Reaction, mind control, we have seen. Now, what is the next? Response. That is what I was supposed to do today. But it's already 12. So, I'll conclude now. Next week, we'll carry forward from verse 28, where he talks about the responses. Right? So let's conclude now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.